Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the JoJo Sports Report. Without you guys, this does not work without you guys. So I'm here live from South Beach, Florida. We are here to start working and getting set up United Way's NFL Experience booth at NFL Experience. I think I kind of said NFL Experience a couple times. But if you happen to go to NFL Experience starting out on Saturday, United Way's booth, where I'll be actually a lot of the time, is right by the Super Bowl trophy and the rings. It's right in between, right corner lot. So it's going to be interesting as they start getting it put together today. I'll be doing some photography work and social media and things there. And it's the beginning of the NFL city coming to life. The weather here, it's actually got warmer last night than it was. It's about 62 degrees this morning. It did rain. It's foggy. The sun should be coming up behind me there, but it's a little cloudy, so we won't be able to see it. But preparations, of course, are going on for getting this ready for the Super Bowl. Something, sadly, we have not seen the Dallas Cowboys in 25 years. Hopefully that'll change in the near future. But the Cowboys are working hard at trying to change that situation. And one of the biggest problems that you have to look at with the Dallas Cowboys is they have not been able to develop players. Right now, as the Kansas City Chiefs prepares to go to the Super Bowl, 6 former Dallas Cowboy players are members of that team. 6 guys that we deemed not worth the money or just weren't good players. And this is a narrative that's gone on for a long time. We had cornerbacks like Terrence Newman that, couldn't stay healthy and was overpriced, and, we thought that he's done. Yet he goes on with the Bengals and the Vikings, and just stopped playing literally last year. Additionally, 10 more years after the time we had him. We had Brandon Carr, who we ended up paying a big contract, and he's played the last couple of years for Baltimore, played really, really well. And then there's a guy like the Glass Man, Morris Claiborne. Man, see, these are things that kill a team. When you draft a guy in the first round, especially when you move up to get somebody in the draft like we did with Morris Claiborne, we were told he was the best defensive player in the draft. And so this is before we had Will McClay. The Cowboys took that first and second. He never could stay healthy for us and never became the player that you hoped you were going to get when you gave up 2 picks. And when you do things like this, this kills you, because not only have you had that #1 pick not been anything, you now locked up a 2nd pick. And when you go into the draft, you have to look at it as this. You need a guy who's a day 1 starter, impact player in the draft. You need a 2nd starter coming out of the draft. You need a special team standout, and you need some depth. Well, when you don't get that, then you're now relying on free agency to get you there. And you cannot build a team through a bunch of free agents. But herein lies the problem with the Dallas Cowboys is they have not been able to develop players. When you get a guy, you have a system and a concept of what you want to achieve on the field. But, for example, with the shot glass racks that I've built, okay, I started out with that just being a lace, but then some ideas came along on ways of improving it and making it better. So I started making some out of cherry. Well, then a light bulb went on. Well, here's what we can do. We can make them in team colors. So we improved what the original concept was, which was just this plain lace. Nothing wrong with the plain lace. It'll hold the shot glasses. It'll do the job. But then when you put the wood behind it and you have the cherry color, oh, okay, now it's the shape of a football. Now all of a sudden, you can make it the color of the teams. You took a basic concept and you made it more complex, but you made it a better thing. And the next evolution of that, of course, is I want to be able to engrave in there. I can put people's names on it. I can put, like, if you want your face put on one of those racks, or if you wanted Tom Landry's silhouette, the CNC machine will be able to do that. So ultimately, when you think of, wow, I can do a football lace shelf in Dallas Cowboys colors and put a relief of Tom Landry on there. Mark, do that. That's great. But I don't have the tools to do it. So if you don't have the tools to do your dream, you have to figure out how to make it work with what you have. And sometimes that means you have to alternate what you're doing. So maybe I go ahead and I carve by hand or something. But I use excuse me, the tools that I have to get the job done. Jason Garrett and crew could not do that. They had a concept of what they wanted to achieve, but they didn't have those tools to fit it. And instead of taking another tool and altering the plan, you tried to take the tool and alter it to be that tool. Well, reality is that chisel is never going to be that CNC machine, CNC machine, and it's not going to work. When you look at quarterbacks that we've brought in, that none of them have been able to develop under the Jason Garrett system, and yet they go on to other places and they succeed. So how does that make you feel, Dallas Cowboys, that Anthony Hitchens, is a starting linebacker for a team going to the Super Bowl, that Morris Claiborne is a starting cornerback for a team that's going to the Super Bowl, as well as others? Whereas when we had him here, we couldn't get him to bust a grape. The thing that gives you hope and makes me feel great about as this season approaches us, this off season, is the amount of work that has already been done with this coaching staff already. It's only been 2 weeks, yet we have almost a complete coaching staff together. Now the coaches seem to be reaching out to the players. Zeke Elliott has now been talking with, Mike McCarthy, and feels excited about the season, and is even quoted saying that, sometimes change is needed. Mike McCarthy seems to be looking at this as, maybe I don't have Aaron Rodgers in his younger days as quarterback. I've got Dak Prescott, but I've got Zeke Elliott. So we're going to incorporate these things together, and we're going to fit it with our system. I see this system evolving to more of a West Coast offense, which is going to be more of a timing route situation. But you put that in there and you start thinking about the original West Coast offense, where, God, I just get goosebumps, and it might be because it's chilly out here, but I think about what the 49ers were able to do. Because, see, here's the thing. Joe Montana wasn't a gunslinger. Joe Montana didn't have the strongest arm. Joe Montana was accurate. And so they used that and they evolved the offense around him in a timing precise route. You might call it dink and dunk, because it was predicated on more shorter passes than longer ones. But you took a running back without the pedigree of Zeke Elliott, a Roger Craig, and he was the first back to have 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. If you can do that with Zeke Elliott, if you get him the ball in space where he's not having to go through the line and take on 320, 350-pound defensive tackles and getting tackled by those guys, where he's out on the wing or going through in the slot catching the ball, where now he's being hit by cornerbacks or linebackers as opposed to those big men, you're going to prolong his career. You're going to find that he's going to be able to take it to the house more often. You're going to have a more dynamic offense. And this is, my friends, what you got to understand, that the problem is the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody knew exactly what we were going to do. And not every player that you get is going to be able to just man-on-man beat the other guy one-on-one. Sometimes you have to give them an advantage by putting them in a situation where they're wide open. They're playing downhill. They are surprising the other team. You're going where they're not. And hopefully, instead of us seeing former players of ours thriving in other systems, we'll see players of ours thriving in our system on the way to the Super Bowl. So, that's all I got to say about that. But I am on a hunt down right now. We're only at this hotel tonight because we're actually staying in a house. We've got all the people that are working with United Way at NFL Experience and stuff. We're all staying in a house together, so that way we can all truck there together, and I can cook and things like that. So we're not spending a fortune in food down here in South Beach because everything is high. I mean high. Unfortunately, the cafe downstairs doesn't open up until like 7:30. And the convenience store doesn't open up till 9. I need coffee. I haven't had coffee since 4 o'clock yesterday morning. I need some coffee bad. Can you spare some coffee for our brother? I need it. I need it. It keeps calling me, man. It keeps calling me. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you throughout the day. Oh, and by the way, found out Jerry Jones's yacht, Miami Gardens Marina, it's already here, about 8 miles that way. We're going to see if we can bring you some footage, at least on the outside, till security comes, of Jerry Jones's yacht. I'm Mark Holmes. I hope you guys have a great day, and keep the faith when it comes to the Cowboys. And I'm going to go find some coffee.